Thanks for tuning in to our video of 6 ways to help your child not just survive Common Core math, but thrive in spite of it. My name is Christine Allen, and I'm the owner of Reading Escapades and Math Explorers in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. This video won't be going over specific ways to help your child with their math, because the way they do it in math is moving so quick that every day is different. We will, if you want more information, you can always email us about our workshops that we have for parents, our boot camps, as well as our weekly classes. But right now we're going to just give you ways that you can help your child at home be really awesome in math, no matter what the curriculum is or who is teaching it. Before I start, I want to go a little bit about Common Core. Common Core was started because our kids in America ranked 35 out of 37 industrialized nations in math. This is very disturbing. Common Core is supposed to change the way we teach math, so it's more aligned with what the teachings of Singapore, Norway, and Finland are, so that we can compete with them on a global scale, especially when our kids are adults and we're looking at STEM careers. And STEM, you'll find, is a very hot keyword right now, and what it stands is for jobs that are in science, technology, engineering, and what all of these jobs need is a strong foundation in mathematics. And that's not what our current education system is giving our kids a heads up in. It's also theoretically supposed to standardize teaching throughout the country so that every child is doing the same thing in every school on the same day. But that doesn't work, because we all know that things in practice don't often work as well as they do in theory. So let's get on to the 6 things. The first 4 things I'm going to talk about is going to, if you will, vaccinate your child against any bad curriculum or teachers who don't quite understand what they're supposed to be teaching. And the first thing you want to do with your child is really important. And you might want to have them even come into the and watch at least this part of the video, because I know they're not really excited to watch a whole video on math. But that's to embrace that math can be done in multiple different ways. Almost every math problem can be done in 5 different ways. And not only is that okay to learn more than one way to do math, but it's really fabulous. Good mathematicians know how to do math in many different ways, and they're always looking for the most efficient way to do it. I like to say that mathematicians are the laziest people on earth. That doesn't mean that they sit around watching television and eating potato chips on the couch, but it means that they're doing the problem in the easiest way that they can do it in that particular instance. So what we want to do is, once we understand that yes, we can do math in multiple ways, learn math in a concept in the way that your child understands it. And once you understand it one way, it's so much easier to understand it in the way that in a different way. So then, once we embrace, we want to also figure out how your child learns best. Do they learn best by reading? Do they learn best by doing or watching, or any other way? Do they learn best by a combination of ways? Once you understand how your child learns, then you can teach them math in a way that they understand it. And once they do that, then they can be prepared to go into any situation and have the confidence to know that they can learn it sometime later, and they'll be more willing to listen. And these are 2 really important things to help your child. The next thing that we want to do, and this is really, really important, is the younger your child is. It's important for everyone, including yourself, and for any teens you have. But the younger the child is, we want to play with math. We want to bring it into the everyday. We want to cook, do cooking with your child. Play store. If they're old enough to have money out in the real world, have them make a budget and let them handle the money when you go to the store. Have them add things up. Build things with them. Even if it's Legos, that's really inherently good math that they're learning. Sew with them. Do crafts with them. That's all doing, especially the sewing and building, is dealing with fractions and decimals and geometry that we just always use. And something that I used to do with my kids, as soon as they're toddlers and want their help in the kitchen, I took away all the measuring cups that weren't a quarter and a third. So I would have, oh, there's a cup and a half of flour we need. Oh, we have a quarter cup, 4 quarters make a whole cup, and 2 quarters make a half cup, so we need 6 cups. What you really don't want to do at this point, it's really hard to start, but it'll become easier as you do it, is to not test your child. They do enough testing in school. They don't need to be tested by you at home. Just give them the information and trust that your awesome children just will know it. Along with the playing, we want to be reading stories about math, and not cutesy stories, don't force it, but just put it again into your everyday life. One of my absolute favorite stories, and these books can be found at our library for our clients, but you can get them at any bookstore or Amazon or at your local library. But for the storybook is One Grain of Rice by Deming. And this talks about permutations, which is doubling a number over and over again. For example, 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. And in this story, Randy has 1 grain of rice, and she permutates it or doubles it every day for 30 days. And they don't think that it's going to amount to much. However, and this is really exciting for young kids, on the 30th day, she winds up having 536,870,912 grains of rice. And she needs 256 elephants, and that's how many are on this page, to carry it across India to her province. That's a really exciting concept for kids. They love huge numbers, and as well as very, very small numbers. And it teaches them math, and they don't even know it. If you have older girls or boys, you can read, there's a lot of fiction books out there. One of my favorite for girls is Secret Flies in Algebra by Wendy Lichtman. It's a realistic story about a girl who has just everyday problems in school and at home, and she solves them, and in the meantime, she's solving algebra problems as well. I wouldn't go up to your child and say, hey, look, why don't you read this book? It's about math, you'll like it, because we all know how middle schoolers are. But every parent that I recommend this book, and just lay it on the counter for them, every single girl has picked it up and actually has enjoyed the book. Okay, so those are 4 ways that will really help your child, as I said before, vaccinate against any kind of poor curriculum. And then you can also add in other things to that. However, we need to know what we need to pass these all-important tests that are so prevalent right now in our American education system. So what you need to do, what we highly recommend, is that you find someone and you sit down with them. Someone who understands why we do what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I would highly recommend, if you can find it, it's a bonus if they like it too, so they can really instill enthusiasm in not only you but your child. We don't want this to be rote. We don't want it should be fun. It should be exciting, because it can very well be fun and exciting. This person may or may not be your child's teacher. Teachers were not given a choice about this, and every teacher that I have talked to does not like Common Core math, and they were very frustrated with it as well. They want, now obviously that's not every teacher out there, but everyone that I have talked to. So you want to find someone who does like it, or at least can explain why, and can get around all the little tips and tricks, because there's a lot of little nuances with Common Core that makes everything very frustrating when you don't get it. And my last tip is to accept that you and your child can do this. You can do math. If you're not good at math, then what you're doing is because you weren't taught very well when you were a younger child. And it's not genetic. Just because you do not do well in school in math does not mean that your child needs to do well. Your child cannot do well in math. I'm sorry. So accept that you can do it. Sit down and say, you know what, I know this is frustrating. I don't understand it, but let's sit down and do it together. So those are our tips. We would like you to send us an email. What did you think about it? And we hope to see you either in our classes or workshops or our boot camp. But regardless, thank you for tuning in and have a fabulous day.